Hey guys, good afternoon. It's Cali. How's everyone doing today? I'm just checking in with you guys for my little weekly update and let you know what's been going on. What a week. Oh my gosh, what a whirlwind with hashtag Love Summer Art, which is not over yet. There's one more day, which good thing, and I'll tell you why in a minute. I needed the extra time. I told you I'm a procrastinator, so nothing like leaving things to the last minute. So, what did I do this week besides getting ready for hashtag? I think last time I saw you, I was going to Godspell. So I did, in fact, go to Godspell with my dear friend Sil, and we had a great time. Again, support your local theater. There's nothing like it. We just had a blast, and, you know, the cast comes out and interacts with the audience, and you know, all the songs and everything just harkens back to the 70s for me, so I love it. And if you guys haven't ever seen that movie or the musical, I highly recommend it, along with Hair, which is like one of my top 10 forever. So support your local theater, and I think the next thing that we're gonna go see is Fiddler on the Roof there. And I also had, we had gone out to dinner this week with our friends Steve, who is Sylvia's son. So shout out to Steve's Music in Rock Hill, and Steve's having a big party in October at the same theater that I saw Godspell at, and he's in a band called Jazzmosis, and they're asking some other local singers and stuff to do some songs, and Jazzmosis will back them. And Steve actually asked me if I would do a song, and so I was so psyched, and I said yes, of course. So that's coming up in October, and that'll be the first time that I've sang out live in public in like 3 years. So yeah, I'll keep you posted on that. I'm sure there'll be some video clips if anybody wants to see that. And oh my gosh, all right, so you know what, I'm gonna just show you what I got at the auction last night, which it was so hot, so super duper hot. And at one point the sky opened up with this torrential rainstorm. We thought it was hailing at one point. It was just coming down in buckets. But that kind of, you know, made everything a little more refreshed. But it's still super hot here today. So I got the fan blowing on me like I'm a movie star or something. But I want to, let's see. We didn't get a lot, but what I'm about to show you, I think we spent around 20 bucks, maybe. I'm not sure with tax, etc. But let's see. There was this guy, whoever they cleaned out the last estate had a collection of green glass, and there was so much green glass products at the auction that it looked like the Emerald City. I swear to God, I think this guy thought he was the Wizard of Oz, but you know I can't pass up a good apothecary jar, and you know I'm not particularly a fan of green glass per se, but I don't not like it. This guy, there were thousands of pieces, I can't even tell you. But so I got this, which I love these ones that sit slanted, you know, like an old-fashioned candy jar. So you know I love my bottles. And also, and again, do I need any of this stuff? No. It's like a canister set, but I'll use it for dried beans or, I don't know, flour, who knows. So again, not really my style, but I don't hate it either. It's really heavy glass. So there's this big guy, and then in descending size, you know, and I could always, if I hate these enough, you know me, I could alter these with some polymer clay. And then, you know, the next size down, and then we follow up with little itty bitty guy. So those, and I'm telling you, still, they got rid of so much of this green glass last night. It's been there for like 2 weeks already. And there's still tables full. Tables full. And also, I got this. This came like I needed another vase, right? But it's kind of pretty. This is all raised, you know? This came with this jar. And it also came with a few other green glass pieces that there was a lady standing packing up her stuff. And I was like, do you want this stuff? Because I just don't need more vases and things like that. But I thought that one was kind of cool. So that's it for the green glass of home. And then I had my eye on this for about 2 weeks, and I just noticed something about this, and I'll show you. And I don't really care because I love it, and it's heavy. This is a you know, glass lantern. which has a lot of, you know, wear on it. There's rust. This is metal and glass. And there's like a votive holder inside. You know I'm going to be altering this. It's going to be magnificent, I hope, when I'm done. But what I noticed last night is I was looking at the votive glass inside, and I'm like, where's the door to open this, you know? There isn't one, which made me turn it upside down, and then I saw that, oh, this was an electric candle, which I didn't notice when they held it up last night at the auction. And so what I'm going to do, which renders it really, you know, impossible at this point for me to put a candle in, but what I'm going to do, there's screws on the bottom here. I'm just going to take this all apart, take it out, and reconstruct it and turn it into a votive holder that I actually can use. And I just, you know, gypsy, hippie, witchy girl that I am, loving this. So I have plans for this that involve dark blue and purple and some black maybe. We'll see. So stay tuned for that. And also I got two, because just what I need is more books. But you know, I've been getting through the pile. The last time I showed you a used book haul, but I just got two that looked offhand interesting. This is Me Talk Pretty One Day by David Sedaris. Never heard of him before, but it's a comedic book. It said the stories chronicling Sedaris' time in Paris are painfully funny fish out of water tales about the difficulty of learning the language and the near impossibility of translating the culture. The simple, effortless comic build of these stories had me howling in the airport, my hands shaking, my eyes glistening with tears. So it's about this guy's time in Paris and him having to learn the language. So I thought that looked cool. And then I love and have loved for years, I used to want to be an anthropologist along with a marine biologist and a ballerina and a fireman. No, Jane Goodall. And I've read a lot of Jane Goodall. If you don't know who she is, Google her. But this is a story more of her spiritual journey. And it says, her revolutionary studies of Tanzania's chimpanzees forever altered our definition of humanity. Now, intriguing as always, Jane Goodall explores her deepest convictions in a heartfelt memoir that takes her from the London Blitz to Louis Leakey's famous excavations in Africa and then into the forests of Gombe. From the unforgettable moment when a wild chimpanzee gently grasps her hand to the terror of a hostage-taking and the sorrow of her husband's death, her unshakable spiritual beliefs break through to give her life meaning and direction. Here, thoughtfully exploring the challenges of both science and the soul, she offers an inspiring, optimistic message as profound as the knowledge she brought back from the forest. And that gives us all reason for hope. And I'm touched even just reading the back of that. So I cannot wait to read it. And it says it has now with a special new chapter on hope in the post 9/11 world. And boy, do we need it, you guys. I can't even watch the news anymore, literally. I don't know if that's, you know, an ostrich keeping her head in the sand, but anyway, so there's always hope and there's always love. And speaking of love, hashtag Love Summer Art, again, it's not over yet. And like I said, I need the extra time. I'm going to show you, I did, in fact, post, and all week long I've been teaching myself how to edit. I'm only using the YouTube editor, but, you know, with each little step, it feels like a victory. And so, you know, I hope to continue to build on that knowledge. And you know, again, I'm not looking to edit out talking or to keep them, I don't want them to become sterile and things like that, but just, you know, adding titles and adding music and, you know, whatever, that kind of stuff. So that's been kind of a blast. And in doing that, I posted my third process video, but my first process video for hashtag Love Summer Art. And that was a journey that you guys took with me. And I made, for those of you who have not seen it, I did this mixed media piece using my original artwork, and I actually did 2 of these. And for those of you who have seen the video, and I'll link it below, actually. Look at me, Lincoln. But there's a purple one as well. And I would show you that, but it's currently hanging in Tom's bathroom right now. So I was like, would you want one of these? And he was like, yeah, and he took it. So that made me feel happy. But I might be giving this away in my giveaway. And for those of you who have not entered my giveaway, it was kind of hidden in one of my not so far away videos. So there's a lot of you who have entered, but if you have not, I'm not going to tell you what video, but check it out. Like I said, it's within the last few. So this might be something that I'll be giving away, and I'll give you the option of having it like this, or if you'd like the purple one that I did. So I was very happy with the way it turned out, and my editing skills there, again, rudimentary at best, but I'm hoping, you know, and I know that I'll continue to get better, right? Not to, you know, just got to keep on keeping on. So while I was doing that, and I'm like, what else am I going to do? I haven't done any work in my journal this week at all, and I just have had the clay out, and was like, you know what? I want to do a planter, a polymer clay kind of mosaic tile, gypsy hippie bohemian-ish planter. And so I will in fact be posting a process video tomorrow of hopefully a success. But what I'm going to show you is my fail, and I'll tell you why I consider it a fail, even though it's kind of cool. So my idea was to, so I'll just show you. I'll be quiet for a minute. Here is the planter, and it's made out of a tin can. I just have holes in the bottom for drainage, and polymer clay tiles that I made and attached to the can, and you know, did my distressing and rubbing and buffing, etc. Well, when I was filming all this, I had all this on film, right? When I covered the can initially, I wanted to cover the can in clay before I put the tiles on. So I did. I covered the can in clay, and I had my raw tiles out on my glass, and everything was going along smoothly. And what I needed to do, and what I planned to do, was to bake my can separately, and then when that came out of the oven, to put the raw clay tiles on the can, because of course they would conform to the can, and it would work wonderfully, and it would be malleable, and I could work with it, right? Well, this yin-yang, I'll blame it on my aging process. Yeah, that's it. I baked the tiles and the can at the same time. So of course, when the tiles came out of the oven, polymer clay being what it is, wonderful, they came out stiff as a board, and that's wonderful if I wanted to do a mosaic book cover or a box or something, but no, I wanted to wrap them around a round can. Well, you guys, I was crestfallen, and of course I had all this video footage, and I was like, are you kidding me? I can't believe it. So I wanted to make it work. You know, you don't want to give up. You want to keep, all of this is a learning experience. And again, I told you, patience is not, is something that I constantly need to work on. I want to be successful the first time. I want to try something once and do it. I don't do multiple things. That's why even the seashell frame, the fact that I did two, because technically to me, that was not what I had intended either. So all of this is a learning process. So what I did was I took my Bacon Bond, Sculpey Bacon Bond, and I glued the tiles on just like if it was all good. And to help them stick, because they still were a little bit warm, but they weren't really pliable at all, let me tell you. But I took, I would glue the tiles on, like, say for instance, the top row here, and then I put a rubber band around the top while I was working on the rest of the tiles, and I kind of rubber banded them all the way down, right? And then when I got them glued on, I took the rubber bands off and I put the can back in the oven, crossed my fingers, and when it came out of the oven, all of the tiles were sticking straight up on the can. None of my work with the rubber band helped, and I was like, grrr. And Tom was here when I came out of the oven, and it was like, you know what? And you could see like where that's lifting up and things on the edge. So because it was still warm at that point, and I had like a towel shoved down in the top, I retook the rubber bands and I rewrapped it and crossed my fingers and went to the auction and came home and took the rubber bands off, and some of them had even snapped, I guess, from the heat. And I wouldn't recommend, like, I didn't bake them that way, thank God. And so when I took off the rubber bands, this is what I got. And again, it's not what, I posted a few of these pictures on Facebook, and I got a really good response. And when you're the artist and you have your vision, and, you know, to me, this was like, wah, wah. But I look at it and I try to look at it with fresh eyes, and it's like, no, wow, that's pretty cool. It's pretty funky. It's kind of cool. It's very distressed. I'm definitely not throwing this away. And all I did after it came out of the oven, I threw some black acrylic paint on it, wiped it off, and then took some rub and buff, and I rubbed and I buffed, and I called it a day. But what I'm going to do today is I'm going to be successful and film successful. What is that, right? This is a success because I learned something from it. But I'm going to try it again, and I will post that tomorrow, which is the last day, July 20th, of the hashtag Love Summer Art. And I am just blown away. I mean, I knew this thing was going to be good from the beginning. I got great vibes from it from the beginning, but it exceeded by far, exponentially, 1,000-fold, the love that I felt, and the art that I saw, and the tutelage, the free tutorials, the vast amount of lessons and sharing that is given freely here by our brothers and sisters in the crafting community is just, I'm thrilled. I'm so thrilled to be a part of this, and I know that this is just the beginning. And you know, thanks again to, oh my gosh, you know, everyone, thanks go to everyone, but, you know, can't say enough about Cinnamon Cooney and Clive and Secret and Artsology and Rita Marie and, you know, Ginger and everybody, Shannon Green, and, you know, you can't list one and leave out a million. So everybody in the YouTube, you know, content creators group on Facebook, and it's just been amazing, this wave of love and art. So I think, I heard a rumor, a little birdie told me that this is going to become a regular thing. So look out for further hashtag waves of art from the YouTube crafting community here. And I think, you guys, is this all I have to share with you today? I think that's it. I'm going to get back to my clay. I am going to go to the circus tonight, a circus that does not use live animals in their acts. And I think that's it. So I'm going to enjoy the sunshine. So I hope you guys are having a great week. You'll see another video from me tomorrow. Again, I'll link my fantasy seashell art video if you care to see that. I'll link that below. And I'll talk to you guys soon. I'll see you tomorrow. So take care. Love you guys. Blessed be. Bye-bye.